Hello and welcome back for another Torah Tuesday. We're continuing to work our way through the book of Leviticus, and we're now on the final section of the book, chapters 23 through 27. I have a number of things I want to talk to you about in these chapters and show you, so we're going to break this up over several different videos. So today, our focus will be on Leviticus chapter 23, which talks about the festivals in Israel's annual calendar. Now, Sabbath is the thread that ties these all together, and 7 is the organizing principle. Chapter 23 is organized in 5 speeches that Moses gives to the people. The first speech takes place in verses 1 through 7, and it deals with 3 things: the Sabbath, the Passover, and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And these are related to each other because they all begin in the first month of the year. Israel is to honor the Sabbath by ceasing from work every 7th day. Passover falls on the 14th day of the first month of the Jewish calendar, which would also be a Sabbath, and it initiates 7 more days of celebration for the Festival of Unleavened Bread, which concludes with another Sabbath. So it begins and ends with a Sabbath with a 7-day celebration in between, and that's the end of the first speech. The second speech runs from verses 9 through 22 and deals with the first fruits and the Feast of Weeks. So first fruits will always fall on the day after a Sabbath. So the farmer takes the first sheaf of grain at harvest time and waits until the day after a Sabbath to bring it to present it before the Lord. And that kicks off 7 weeks of counting, so 7 sevens, until the Feast of Weeks, which is 50 days later. So that's the second speech. The third speech in Leviticus 23 is in verses 23 to 25, and it introduces the Festival of Trumpets. Now this is perhaps a normal Sabbath that kicks off the 7th month of the year, but it's extra special because priests will blow the trumpets to announce that we have reached the 7th month of the year. Now, why is that important? We find out in the next speech. Speech 4 runs from verses 26 to 32, and it prescribes the Day of Atonement to fall in the 7th month, and specifically as a day of Sabbath rest. So it's on the 10th day of the 7th month, and it's an extra Sabbath in the 7th month, and it's the one day a year that the high priest will enter the most holy place. If you're not familiar with the Day of Atonement, you can watch the video on Leviticus 16 and hear all about it. The fifth speech is in verses 33 to 44, and it announces the Feast of Tabernacles, otherwise known as the Feast of Booths. The main idea is that the people are going to build temporary shelters to live in to remind themselves of the years that they spent in the wilderness living in tents. This festival takes place again over 7 days, plus an extra Sabbath on the end, so it goes again from Sabbath to Sabbath. So did you notice the pattern? Every Jewish festival falls either on the 7th day or the 7th month, or it's linked with a Sabbath by occurring the day after the Sabbath. So they're all coordinated in some way with the Sabbath. These patterns of 7 associate the Jewish calendar with the memory of God's creative work and his day of rest after he creates everything in Genesis 1. Or if it's written the other way around, if Genesis 1 is written after this, then the creation account is styled as a cosmic festival. One way or the other, these are associated with each other. And these festivals implement a pattern of work and worship that views all of life in relation to God. The year is marked by the anticipation and relishing of celebration, celebrating what God has provided and celebrating his work of grace on Israel's behalf. Is that cool or what? Many years ago, I made a decision to honor the Sabbath. I was in seminary at the time, and there was always a lot of work to do. There was always more homework that could be done. There were always more books that could be read. It was a very, very busy season of life. I had 3 children. My husband worked full-time. We had a support team that was supporting us as missionaries. It was a very full season, and we found that Sabbath rest was absolutely essential to our flourishing. We kept that practice throughout my doctoral studies, a time that was even more intense than we could have imagined. And it's just been such a gift to celebrate God's restorative provision for us, giving us one day a week where we can rest without guilt and where we can acknowledge that He is the one who keeps the universe running. It doesn't rely on me working nonstop. It's been such a gift. So this is probably a good day to tell you that Torah Tuesday is going to be taking a Sabbath this summer. We are approaching the 1-year mark. We launched Torah Tuesday last summer, June 30th of 2020, and we've been running for almost a full year. So my plan at this point is to have videos, weekly videos, until the end of June 2021, and then to take a couple months off so that we can travel and transition as a family. And then hopefully we'll pick it up again in the fall, because this has been such a fun journey to share with all of you. Blessings on your week. I hope that you have a chance to rest and enjoy the Sabbath as well. Have a great week.